everybody, thanks for tuning in today. Today I'm going to share a really interesting and very simple technique with you. A lot of people have noticed when they buy brass stampings, which is what I specialize in at Bisou Boutiques, that they're stamped in a way that the back sides are rather hollow. And depending on their design, that sometimes may present a problem. Usually what you can do is just go around the rim or the edge of it and you can glue it in place. Sometimes you can use a cold connection. People who are good with a soldering iron or even with flame soldering can solder it, no problem. But say you want to use one of these hollow back stampings as a pendant. But they're just a little bit lightweight. They don't quite have enough bulk to them, and then they got that hollow back side, and if it flips around, it's, you know, and it might because it's light. And you just think, what can I do? And I kind of like to hang some stuff from my piece too. But I really can't because it's hollow, and the way it's dapped up, when I run my holes through it, they're going to be in a weird place, and so it's not going to hang right. So what do? Simple. Polymer clay. You simply fill the backs with polymer clay and a wire or eye pins for loops if you want to have little things to hang. Some time ago on the Bisou Boutiques Creative Group, one of our members, Pamela Anger from Nova Gotti Jewelry on Facebook, had made a pendant with our Cinderella slipper finding, and she had little hanging holes on it, and I suspected, because Pam's a polymer clay artist, that that's probably what she did, because I know I've done it. And then just this week I got this really cool PDF tutorial because I'm a member of Bohemian Vibe, which is our polymer clay group at Facebook. Actually, Christy Friesen and I kind of jointly managed that group. And this is her month to teach, and she did a PDF, and here she used a hollow stamping, and she did the same thing. So, let me just shut on up about that. And I know you just want to be shown, so come on over here and I'll do my best to show you the basics. I'm not making a whole piece of jewelry today. I'm just going to show you how to fill the back and how to insert wire or eye pins or whatever, and then you can do the rest. And then later on my blog, maybe probably tomorrow or Sunday, I'll get a blog post with a completed piece that you'll be able to see, and that's Bisou Boutiques at TypePad. I'll put the URL for the blog right in the description, and also if you go to bisouboutiques.com, there's also, it's right on the front page, on the home page there. But anyway, I'm going to show you how to deal with all of our hollow back stamping stuff. Come on, get over here. Okay guys, so as you can see, I have my Cinderella shoe slipper finding. This is made from an old 50s die, and I just got a really big stock of these in, so there's plenty of them for those of you who'd like to give this a try. You would come over and you would get FIG 07728, and Javi, when you put that into the video, don't put any spaces and make the FIG capital. So it's capital FIG, no spaces, 07728. And she'll try to make that clickable for you too. Okay, but anyway, you start out with this if you want to do this one. And you can see that I've spray painted and distressed this already. Okay, so it's ready to go. So I'm going to have to fill the back because look at how recessed it is. I mean, that goes down in there. And that is because when that male and female die that I talked about before that they use at the tooling factories comes together with about, I think it's 25,000 pounds of pressure, you get the front bumped up and the back kicked in. Okay, this would also make a really good polymer clay mold, but that's another tutorial. Okay, so you got to fill it. So we're going to do that. Here are a couple that I did, so I can just give you an idea first. I filled these already. actually this one was the first one I filled. And the reason I want to go through this whole little series real quickly with you is because this one, I don't know why, I had some red scrap clay, so I kind of had that in mind that I might paint my shoe reds, you know, so I figured that'd be okay. I haven't done it yet. Okay, but I used too much clay in there, and so it's okay. I can use this. It'll hang okay as a pendant. It's not going to be real wonky. But if you can see, this kind of shows a little bit from the front. You need to get it flatter than that. But you can see how I inserted my eye pins right into that clay. And they're sturdy. They're not coming out. This is fine. You wouldn't want to hang real heavy beads off of this. You wouldn't do that anyway. This is a delicate stamping. But, I mean, you're good. This is good. This is sturdy. And you can see that I've incised my name in there too, so there's a nice way for you to sign it. And what I did to do that is I just used my little needle tool. Okay. But this one's kind of wonky, so I kind of figured out why after I read Christy's tutorial, which, by the way, if you join Bohemian Vibe, if you're serious about joining us and working with our concept, you're welcome to come. At Bohemian Vibe, it's a mixed media with polymer clay and brass stampings, fiber, and you name it, and her PDF has all that in there. So if you're serious about working in that style, come over, take a look, and join, and you can get the PDF for free this month. Christy has very generously given that to us. But anyway, so we're going to fill this form. Okay, so now I went on to the next one. This was the next one I did, and you can see this is raw brass. I haven't, done anything to it yet. I'm going to paint this, and I've got it nice and smooth this time. And this one I did paint and distress and added perfect pearls, and it's pretty smooth too. Just a few little marks, and those marks come from me having to add a little bit more clay after I put this in, and you'll see when I do it for you. And the reason is because you want the ends of these head pins, eye pins, embedded into there as deep as you can get, so they're going to stay. Okay, this is all baked and ready. Now you could seal these backs, but on your fronts, since you need to bake them kind of first before you're going to want to add sealant, do not use Krylon in this case. You're going to need to use something that you have control over, because Krylon, you don't want to ever get Krylon matte spray or any kind of spray lacquer on polymer clay except for PYM, which is made for it, and it's not something I carry because it's aerosol and I don't ship aerosol. But you're going to have to use like some Sculpey glaze or Varathane or something on your Sculpey on your front, something where you have some control. You could do Swelligant clear coat on this to protect it. It'd be fine. I a lot of times use Jewelry Shield because I've got a wand in here, because this is like nail polish, and I've got control with it. Could you use nail polish clear lacquer? I suppose you could, but I would not do that. I don't know how it's going to react with perfect pearls. This is going to be okay. I would not do that. It could chip, especially the poor quality ones. If you bought real high-end ones, maybe like OPI or something, it might work, but those aren't made for jewelry making. I'm sorry. Some people use them, but they're not made for that, really. But anyway, that's another subject, so let me get off it, because you may disagree, and then, we don't want negative comments. Let me just get to the work. I want to show you how to do this. I'm going to take this off. As you can see, I have rolled out some ecru polymer clay. I used a whole little cake or block of it. And you polymer clay people, please cut me some slack. I know you're very fussy. I am not the best polymer clay artist in the world, but I do know a few things. And this I know. And I'm sure you can do it better, but there are a lot of people who are new who don't know how yet. So let's just show them. So I'm going to use this like a cookie cutter on here, because it's a little bit sharp on the back. And I'm going to apply pressure very evenly all around and really get that down in there. I want to get as clean a cut as I can. And then I want to tear this clay back. Super simple, right? But, did you notice something? We got clay hanging out, which we don't want. You know what that's showing. So this is a really good tool. your needle tool, to clean this up. And it's simple. Just get in here and remove it. But what you might want to do first is flip it over and kind of press this down in. And you might say, well, Brenda Sue, that kind of looks like kind of sparse for that. I mean, it's not filling that whole thing out. And I've got something on my fingers there, but I can compensate by running some perfect pearls over that, cover that. But anyway, there's a reason why, and you'll see later. But go ahead, and I'm going to push that down, and now I'm going to get rid of the excess clay. Okay, so here we go. Getting rid of it. We don't need that. And we don't want that showing. And as you work along and you press on your piece, you may find more, you know, peeking out of the edges. So just go and, you know, keep removing it. Keep getting rid of it, because you don't want to put this in the oven and bake that on, because it's going to be real hard to remove. In fact, it may be next to impossible. So just keep getting it off. We'll just keep working with that until we're ready to put it in the oven. And by the way, you're going to bake it. This is Primo. I use Primo. I'm sold on Primo, and I like the souffle too, but I really like Primo. And you're going to bake it at 275 for about 50 minutes or an hour. The longer you bake it, the stronger it is. Just don't burn it. So watch it. If you have a real cheapy deepy oven, that's okay, but watch it so that the temperature is regulated and it doesn't burn it. Although I have to say I have achieved some very interesting effects with burned clay, but the fumes are not good for you, so I don't admonish any of you to do that. Now you can see how I'm coming along the back, and I'm kind of working it with my fingers to get that excess off back here. Just kind of bevel it a little bit. Just slightly bevel it. Okay. And the next thing we're going to do now is we're going to add our hanging holes or our eye pins. Now you don't have to use eye pins. You can use a piece of 20 gauge wire. Christy in her PDF shows where she kind of makes it in like a scrolly loopy pattern. But that works for her project. For this project, you want to get your little hanging holes in very precise places, and I just couldn't see where I was going to be able to do that and use that method. So I used some gold eye pins that I had, and I cut them down. These are like 1.5 inch eye pins, so I cut them down to about 7/8 of an inch, maybe a little less. Okay. And what I did, okay, who took them? There they are. I always have to blame somebody when I can't find my pliers. You want to kind of make it like a zigzag pattern on your eye pin. Now, some of you may have another way of doing it. If you want to suggest something, that would be lovely. If you can do so kindly, that would be great. We love your suggestions. But this works. Okay, so now I've got like this little wonky zigzag thing. Then I'm going to take and I'm going to roll this. And the reason I'm doing this is you never want to put a straight pin into your clay and make it hold, because it could just pull out. So you just want to make these little wiggly things, make it a little bit harder to pull out. And if you wanted to get that nice and flat, you could take it over to your metal bench block and take your hammer and give it a whack or two, which is what I did with the ones I'm going to use. But I'm just showing you. I mean, that doesn't look like much there, but it's going to be quite effective for what you want. We want something that's going to go in there and have some little barbs on it, kind of to hold it. Okay, so now I've also got my little hanging holes here are pre-made. And it doesn't matter really if some are longer than others. That's not a big deal. That's not the point. Okay? So don't even worry about that. And then I made a bunch of these little balls of clay. And some are going to be too big and some are not. But we're just going to start. Oh, I see a place where this didn't fill. So I'm just... See how easy it is to get it to fill? Just push it over. Just push it over. And then you want to try and smooth it out the best you can. And we can add a little clay there too if we want. It's a little bit thick here still. I don't quite like that. So Before we do too much more, just take that off. I really don't want any showing on the face of this. You know, when I looked at Pam's piece, and I don't know that she used polymer clay, but I'm pretty sure she did, you couldn't see anything. It looked awesome. Very clean. You want a clean look. Okay. So, I mean, you want it to look half decent in the back, too. Oops, I just made holes. I'll just tamp them down. Okay. So now my first one is my hanging hole for here. So I'm going to position this about like that. I think I want it to go the other way. Okay. So that my little hanging aglet is just above the surface. And then I'm going to take my pliers or something, some kind of a tool. I'm going to push it down in. Now see, it's rolling. That's why you got to have something on top of it. And I'm also going to take this piece and I'm going to pull it this way a little bit. Okay, now I have to embed this. But first, before I do that, I want to look and see if I got it right where I want it. And I do. Okay, so you have to keep checking because they could move around as you work on them. And then I'm going to take another piece of clay and I'm going to kind of make a little flattened ball out of it and cover this all the way up to the neck of that eye pin, okay? And now I'm just going to start working with it and kind of mush that down. I think that one came out pretty good. See, we don't want any showing on the front, so we need to go back out to the front, make sure we don't have any polymer clay sticking to our finding. Okay, I think that's in there pretty good. And then you can try and, you know, I know on the one I didn't get my little creases and stuff worked out too good because I was kind of in a hurry to get it ready to show you here. So, and then, you know, when I lay this down, I don't want to lay it down in polymer clay bits, so I'm going to brush them out of the way. Okay, now I'm going to add the second one, which is going to be for the other hanging hole, and I'm going to put it right at the top of this rose here. So I have to be careful. I'm going to get it straight up and down the best I can. And then I'm going to take and I'm going to tamp it down in there again the best I can. Okay, and then I'm going to look to see if it's where I want it. Pretty much. When this is baked in, I probably will take and close it, but I don't think I'll do much to it right now. Yeah, that's going to be pretty good for hanging it for a necklace. I might have put this one out here a little bit more, but it'll be all right. Okay, now we have to cover it, so now I've got another piece of clay already. And again, I want to cover that up to the neck. Okay? And you don't want this piece of clay to be too thin, because you don't want any of that, you know, popping up through there. You want that all underneath. Okay? And not visible really at all, if possible. If possible, which it should be possible. And then again, I'm going to check the front, and I think I'm pretty good. What do you think? Okay, so I'll smooth that out. Okay, now I've got 3 to put down here. So I'm going to, I think I'll put this guy right on the heel. Don't be such a heel. Turn around. Yep, see, that's going to be just about perfect. I'm going to have to push that up because it's not like closed all the way. I should have probably worked with these a little bit more first, but it's okay. Once this is baked, I'll be able to do that, and it'll be fine. Okay, so now I need to get a little piece of clay. Not too big, but big enough. Not too thick, but thick enough. And you kind of get a feel for it. Now this is a little bit of a funny place because it's right in a skinny area, you know, so I'm going to tamp that up. I'm going to have to put some more here because I didn't go all the way up to the neck. Always go all the way up to the neck. Never leave that neck exposed because you're just weakening your piece if you do that. Always go all the way up. You try to keep your fingernails out of it. I actually cut my fingernails back this week because I have been working with clay a lot this week. Our challenge at Bohemian Vibe last month was to make a parure, which is a necklace. Well, it's not a necklace necessarily. It's a set of jewelry, 3 pieces or more that matches, goes together. And I finally got all my pieces made, and I'm actually wearing part of the necklace, but it's not finished yet. So I've been playing with clay all week, so I cut my nails back. Because if you're playing with clay, keeping your nails cut back is a pretty good idea. In fact, Katie Oskin has a really good blog post on that. Why that? I know some of us really like our long nails, but it's not the best for polymer clay artists. I'm going to stick this piece here because I can see that my clay is kind of divoted here, and it's, you know, it's not filled in nice and smooth. I want it to be as smooth as I can get it. So now I have to smush out my lines, and you probably won't get them perfect. There are little tools you could use. Some of Christy's tools, yeah, the ball tool would be good. I just Javi would just pointed to this one. Yep, this would do it. Christy has some tools that would be excellent for this too. Yeah, see, the ball tool just took care of that. Thank you, Javi. Very good suggestion. Actually, the littler one probably be better, huh? Probably this size, this one. If you don't have a set of ball tools yet, I have to tell you, you need them. Whether you get them from me or someone else, we just had a shipment come in. So we do have them, but wherever you get them from, I don't care, just get them. If you're going to work with clay, you need them. But it would be nice if you got them from us. I wouldn't mind at all. I can use your business, I ain't going to lie. Okay, now, I need to hang one right about here. Okay? This one's the trickiest one. That's why I made this little swirly thing up there. I'm going to turn it around this way so I can get it in better. Might move it over just a little. Okay, now push it down in. And now I'm going to need, and I'm going to have to clean this up too because I mushed it. Mushed. And it's not all the way up to the neck either, so that's not good. So I have to get it all the way up to the neck of that pin. Okay? I might want to push this up a little. See if I can do that. See, where's my... Just push that in there. Yeah. Works fine. Just great. But see, I still don't have it quite covered. So I gotta get it done. But you know what, guys? We're almost there. And you're going to take this yourself to the next level, and you're going to find, if you don't know them already, you're going to find even better ways or more novel ways to approach this. And if you do, you know, I would just love it if you joined us at the Bisou Boutiques Creative Group or posted your kindly remarks on this video to share them with other people, because I am all about sharing, especially with people who are new to craft. And if you make people who are new to craft feel kind of, you know, and I'm this, and it doesn't work too good. It makes people feel awful. You know, a lot of people are looking for something to do that's going to make them a little bit extra income, or it's like therapy for them. And you just don't need to create those kind of feelings for people. So you want to be nice. Always want to be nice. So I've got here, probably could be, see, I'm going to have to trim this off. See, from pressing. That's the last thing you do for sure before this goes in the oven. You make sure that's in the right place. And I think I want to move this over a little bit, which I can do just like that. Did you see how I just took this and I moved it over? So yeah, it's a little crooked back here, but that does not matter. We just got to get this covered now. So yes, now we need to add a little bit more clay. But it's all good. And I'm going to use this ball tool to push down. Yeah, you know what? This is really better than mushing with my hands. See here, I'm finding out things just as I go along. See, Javi likes to play with clay too, and she is very, very good at it. I'll tell you what. When Christy came and we had the class last May, she took to it like a duck to water. So that's in there pretty well. Yeah, it's in good enough. So let's see what it looks like. Yeah, so the stuff's going to hang pretty good. I might want to pull this out just a tad bit. Okay, so I've got one to go, and yeah, see I've got some cleanup in here. We don't want that there. Get that out of there. You gotta make sure that's out of there, because if that bakes in there in place, it's not like you can't get it out, but it's just a pain, and why go through it? It may be hard to get out. You could crack the whole back of the piece, and you don't want to do that. So I'll use my ball tool when I'm all done here and smooth that. Okay, so I've got one left to do. So I'm going to put that, and I think I'm going to bend this one a little bit, because I can see this goes down in a little bit. So I'm going to help myself out a little bit. Stick that in there. Okay. Now I want to mush that down in as good as I can. I'm going to push it up a little bit too, because I like the eye pin to just come to the very, very edge like that. You see? Just to the very edge like that. Okay? Okay, so that's already smushing itself a little bit into the clay, but I need to cover it with more, because that's really a little bit concave there. So we're going to need a little bit more clay there. You won't get this back just perfect. Well, the odds you get it better than I am right now, because I'm having to hurry to get it done on camera. But it's going to be fine. And I think I'll put this piece here too, because it's kind of really needing a little bit more. Now I'll take my ball tool and I'll just kind of blend it. Try to get these little seams out that I created when I added clay. Okay. Okay, that's pretty good. It's a little bit stippled, but I'll work on this a little bit more when I'm done, before I bake it. And I'll try to get it as smooth as I can. And then what I'm going to do is I'm going to take my needle tool again, and I'm going to write my name, Bisou. Because I like to sign my work. I've done videos about the value of signing your work. I think you should, if at all possible. Some pieces are a little bit hard to sign, but you really, you know, we're proud of what we do, and it's part of our heart, and people actually want you to sign your work. They do. I've had people send their stuff that they bought from me back to me that I forgot to sign, and say, would you please sign this for me? I'm like, whoops. So yeah, get in the habit of signing your work. Okay, so this is basically it. Now, like I said, I'll smooth that out a little bit more before I bake it, because I want it to look nice. But now the main thing I need to do before I bake it is I need to be sure that I don't have excess showing from here. I'm going to hold it up and look at it too, and see if I have any coming over the lip or the edge back here, because you know, when you wear it you'll see that, so you might have to take and kind of bevel it a little bit, get that off, push it back, you know, clean it up, make it look, it's not just when it's laying down here, it's also when you hold it up. See I'm gonna wanna take my ball tool and probably smush that down a little bit. See, I have to play with it a little bit. And now I have a little bit more to take out, but that's okay, because I had too much anyhow. So I'm going to continue to fiddle around with this. And like I said, again, see, here's some more that popped out here. And this moved a little bit. That's okay at this point. You want to get it lined up right now, you know, so that you don't, if it's moving around once you bake it, you're going to have to take it apart and redo it, because that's no good. The only thing you could do is maybe glue it in place, but we're trying to not do that. We're trying to do it with clay. We're trying to let the clay do the work. So anyway, I'll mess around with this a little bit more and get it a little bit nicer, a little bit more beveled. But you can see the idea and the possibilities. Like, for example, where did I put it? There was a big heart down here. So here it is. This heart. Like, not only would this heart make a nice impression in clay. Let me try something. So we've got a piece of clay laying here. Might as well see what happens. Can we make a pattern with this? Not so much. Not so much. This would be better to make a mold. Okay? So we found that out. But this piece, you know, you could fill this, and then you could have stuff hanging, like you could have all kinds of hanging holes off of that and make just a remarkable pendant out of this. Or you could fill this, and then you could stamp this side. You could have a double-sided pendant. You could stamp and ink this side and have two-sided pendant, so you could wear it this way or that way. You could paint this different colors of paint. I've seen this piece where people had taken it and just painted all the flowers. Oh my goodness, it looked like old check. It was just so, so beautiful. This piece is FIG01035, and it's quite large, as you can see, you know, next to the, it's quite large. And the FIG is capital letters, so FIG01035, no spaces. And another piece that I had pulled out to work with this, I don't want to throw that on there, was these little flowers we just got in. I thought would be cute because I'm going to want to decorate this, okay? So, in fact, if you go to this listing on my website and you click to enlarge the picture, you'll see 1 and 2. And if you click on 2, you will see Pam's slipper necklace, or the bottom of it. It's really pretty. And again, the Cinderella slipper is FIG07728. And I kind of thought these would be pretty, different places on there. So I'm going to decorate it all up. You can go see how she did hers. She hung little chains and charms and beads, and it's so delicate and pretty. And she did a very delicate and pretty necklace on it, and it's just a wonderful piece. So these little tea roses are on the site, and they are in raw brass. These I spray painted, and they are FIG01092. And again, the FIG part is capital letters, and there are no spaces. Okay, so that's just a little idea for you. So I hope I have given you some food for thought today, that you will enjoy using polymer clay, which is kind of lightweight, to fill in the backs of some of your hollow stampings, make them double-sided, finish them off, make a better pendant because you have a back on it. Just so many ways to go with it. So get a bar of clay and get some of my stampings from bsuboutiques.com. We just had a whole bunch of beautiful new leaves and figural stampings, all in raw brass. I'm really concentrating on raw brass these days because we've done so many colorization videos, and you can save so much money by using the raw material, the unplated material. And also, it gives you more leverage and more variety as an artist to really make that piece your own when you colorize it yourself instead of using a plated finish. You know, plated finishes have their place, but I just think that you have so much more creativity expressed with raw brass. So come on over, have some fun, come see us at bsuboutiques.com, and thank you so much for joining us, and come join us at the Bisou Boutiques Creative Group at Facebook. The only things missing there is you. See you next week.